The winter wind cut through downtown Chicago like a blade. But 18-year-old Isabella Martinez barely felt the cold anymore. 3 months of working double shifts at Elegance Boutique, the city's most prestigious designer store, had taught her to push through discomfort. Tonight, however, something made her pause outside the alley behind Michigan Avenue's glittering storefronts. An old man sat huddled against the brick wall, wrapped in a thin gray blanket, his weathered face illuminated by the golden glow of Christmas lights strung across the street. Something about him seemed different from the countless homeless individuals she'd walked past during her months in the city. His eyes, though tired, held an unusual sharpness, an intelligence that seemed out of place with his tattered circumstances. "Sir, are you okay?" Isabella asked, kneeling beside him despite her expensive heels sinking into the slush. The old man looked up, his silver beard catching the light like frost on winter branches. "I've been better, young lady. But I've also been worse." His voice carried an unexpected elegance, cultured tones that didn't match his ragged appearance. "I'm Isabella. Can I get you something?" "Coffee, food." "Marcus," he replied, extending a weathered hand. "And what I need, dear child, isn't something you can buy at a corner store." There was something magnetic about him, a mystery that made Isabella's curiosity override her fear of being late for her shift. She sat down beside him on the cold pavement, ignoring the concerned glances from passersby. "What do you need then, Marcus?" He studied her for a long moment, as if measuring her worth, testing her sincerity. "I need someone to help me find my daughter before I die." The words hit Isabella like an electric shock. "Die? Marcus, are you sick?" "Terminal cancer. The doctors give me 3 weeks, perhaps 4 if I'm fortunate." He said this with a calmness that unsettled her more than tears would have. "I've spent the last 2 years searching for her, but the streets have a way of stealing time you don't have." Isabella felt her heart racing. There was a story here, something significant beneath the surface. "Tell me about her. Tell me about you." What followed was a tale that seemed impossible given his current circumstances. Marcus Chen, once one of Chicago's most successful jewelry designers, had built an empire creating pieces for royalty, celebrities, and the ultra-wealthy. His designs had graced red carpets, adorned museum exhibitions, and commanded prices that seemed unreal. 15 years ago, I made a mistake that cost me everything," Marcus continued, his eyes distant with memory. "My wife died in a car accident, and I fell apart. I turned to alcohol, then gambling, trying to numb the pain. I lost the business, the house, everything except the guilt that ate away at whatever was left of me. But your daughter? Grace. She was 16 when I lost custody. My sister-in-law took her in, and I was too broken, too ashamed to fight for visitation rights I didn't deserve. I told myself I'd get better first, prove myself worthy of being her father again. But first became years, and years became this." He gestured to his surroundings with a bitter smile. Isabella's phone buzzed. She was already 15 minutes late for her shift. But something told her this moment mattered more than any retail job. "I have money saved," she said suddenly. "Not much, but maybe enough to help you find a private investigator." "Or no," Marcus interrupted gently. "I don't need your money, Isabella. I need your ears, your heart, and perhaps your resourcefulness. You work at Elegance Boutique, don't you? I recognize the uniform. How did you know that?" "I designed jewelry for that store's grand opening 20 years ago. Sapphire and diamond pieces that made headlines. The owner, Vivian Sterling, was a dear friend before my fall from grace." His eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I imagine she doesn't even remember my name now." Isabella felt a chill that had nothing to do with the winter air. Vivian Sterling was practically a legend in the fashion industry. A woman whose glamorous parties and impeccable taste made international headlines. "What if I told you I could get you an audience with her?" Marcus laughed, a sound tinged with both hope and disbelief. Child security wouldn't let someone like me within a mile of that establishment. "Then we'll change how you look," Isabella said, determination flooding through her. "Marcus, what if this isn't just about finding Grace? What if it's about reclaiming who you were?" Over the next few days, Isabella became consumed with Marcus's story. She researched his past, discovering newspaper articles from decades ago, showing a distinguished, elegant man in tailored suits standing beside museum-quality jewelry pieces that had once dazzled the world's elite. The transformation from that sophisticated designer to the man in the alley was almost impossible to reconcile. She convinced her boss to let her take personal leave, cashed in her savings, and began a journey that would test everything she believed about redemption and second chances. First, she found Marcus's proper medical care through a charity clinic, buying him precious weeks with treatment that eased his pain, if not his prognosis. Then she began the delicate process of piecing together his fractured history. The breakthrough came through an old business partner, Richard Halloway, who still worked in the jewelry district. Richard's eyes filled with tears when Isabella mentioned Marcus's name. "Marcus Chen is alive," we thought. "We assumed he'd died on the streets years ago." Richard's voice cracked with emotion. "He was the most talented designer I ever worked with. His disappearance was Chicago's fashion industry's greatest mystery." Richard revealed something that changed everything. Grace hadn't forgotten her father. She'd hired investigators over the years, desperately searching for him. But Marcus had changed his name and moved between shelters, ashamed to be found in his diminished state. "She's here in Chicago," Richard said. She became a jewelry designer herself, working under a different last name, trying to honor her father's legacy while dealing with the pain of his absence. Isabella's heart raced with possibility and urgency. Marcus's time was running short, his health declining rapidly despite the medical care. She had to find Grace before it was too late. The suspense built like a thriller as Isabella tracked down leads, following breadcrumbs through the sophisticated world of high-end jewelry design. Days passed with each dead end feeling like a countdown to tragedy. Finally, through a design showcase event, Isabella found her. Grace Chun Williams, now 31. An accomplished jewelry designer whose work echoed her father's signature style, intricate details, meaningful symbolism woven into every piece. "I need to talk to you about your father," Isabella said, approaching Grace at the exclusive gallery opening, surrounded by glittering displays of precious stones and metals. Grace's face went pale. "My father died years ago." "I don't know who told you he's alive." "Grace, he's dying of cancer, but he's alive. And he spent the last 2 years trying to find you." The gallery around them seemed to fade as Grace absorbed this impossible information. Tears streamed down her carefully made-up face, mixing with expensive mascara. "Take me to him, now." What followed was a reunion that transcended anything Isabella could have imagined. In a private hospital room, secured through funds Isabella had desperately raised through a social media campaign that unexpectedly went viral. Marcus Chen finally saw his daughter after 15 years of separation. "Papa," Grace whispered, kneeling beside his bed, taking his frail hand in hers. "My beautiful girl," Marcus replied, tears flowing freely now. "Look how magnificent you've become." The reunion sparked local media attention, then national coverage. The story of the once famous jewelry designer, homeless and dying, reunited with his successful daughter through the kindness of a young boutique worker, captured the city's collective heart. But Marcus had one final wish that would leave everyone speechless. "I want to design one final piece," he told Grace and Isabella, his voice weak but determined. "A piece that represents redemption, second chances, and the extraordinary kindness of strangers who choose compassion over judgment." Despite his failing health, Marcus worked with renewed purpose, guiding Grace's hands as she brought his final vision to life, an elegant necklace featuring a phoenix rising from ashes, crafted with diamonds and sapphires that seemed to capture starlight itself. "This represents Isabella," Marcus explained, his voice growing weaker each day. "A young woman who saw past my circumstances to recognize my humanity, who chose kindness when the world had taught her to look away." The piece was completed just 3 days before Marcus passed away peacefully, surrounded by his daughter and the young woman who had given him his final wish: reconciliation, dignity, and one last chance to create beauty from the ashes of his broken life. At his memorial service, held at the very boutique where Isabella worked, Vivian Sterling herself spoke, revealing that she'd never forgotten Marcus, had always wondered what happened to her brilliant friend. "Marcus Chen taught this industry that true elegance isn't about perfection," Vivian announced to the packed room, "but about the courage to rise again, no matter how far you've fallen." The Phoenix necklace was later donated to the Chicago History Museum, accompanied by Marcus's story, inspiring thousands of visitors with its message of redemption and hope. Grace continued her father's legacy, establishing a foundation providing support and dignity to Chicago's homeless P.